YouTube, hello. This is a different kind of video, but we are doing this. I just got sent a video that pretty much gives us all of the information we have ever wanted about Halo Infinite's development cycle, what happened after Halo 5. My dog just failed to jump onto the bed. Are you okay, little one? It's a big video today, and I figured I would react to it because it is 21 minutes long. Pretty much, I'm going to put a couple screenshots. I just finished watching it on screen now. Wow. Like, seriously, wow. You guys are in for a treat. We got Unreal Engine, we got menus, we got early Halo Infinite footage. So many screenshots I've shared from news has pretty much come from this video. So everything that pretty much Mr. Rebs has shared, I think, has come from this video. It is public on YouTube, so I'm reacting to it. If you want to watch it for yourself in its entirety, I will link it too. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Alright guys, you just heard from Blitz in the future. This is called Halo Infinite The Promise. It's by Dan Chosich. I've heard that this is really, really well done. It's like an in-depth Vidoc. I don't think anyone has seen it. I think this is where Mr. Rebs got all of his information from. Let's get into it.
I think the state of Halo today is, it's an interesting question.
Right off the bat, I mean, the state of Halo, and he doesn't seem too happy about it. And keep in mind, this is like Halo 5 to Infinite, so this is, you know, they're coming off Halo 5, very competitive. The campaign was absolutely despised, so yeah.
And if we're willing to ask that question and answer it with some actions, that's a fundamental change.
When I think about what we did on Halo 4 and Halo 5, we're always trying to do something that had...
Chris Lee, he was the studio head up until, well, basically Joe Staten came back. So once you had that first reveal and you had the Phantom flying through the tree and everyone's like, wow, this is so unfinished, he was basically gone.
Had a huge amount of ambition.
With Halo 5, our dialogue with the public is more around that power fantasy.
And so we focused a lot on sandbox, we focused on fair stars, we focused on all of these things that made kind of classic Halo great for the core.
It's easy to take what's new and compare it to other games, but doing so accomplishes little. Halo 5 is easily one of the best playing shooters of the year, and it reaches this height on its own terms.
People are proud of their individual.
Halo 5's multiplayer, to this day, I think it's fantastic. I think most Halo fans agree with that. Of course, if you like classic Halo, you like classic Halo, but I enjoyed Halo 5 multiplayer for what it was.
Component. I think when we took all of them and put them together into the game, the team as a whole felt that we didn't achieve what we wanted with the holistic experience.
If only the story met the same standard. There are times when the game makes narrative leaps that don't add up.
I think we had multiple dialogues, and that was the problem.
But nothing from that podcast is ever even explored.
My interpretation.
Hunt the Truth. I mean, so many people have spoken about Hunt the Truth. We had such high expectations for that. This whole hunting down the Master Chief, and then it was barely touched upon, and then the fight between Locke and Master Chief, which Master Chief, I think, should have absolutely obliterated him.
Is we didn't know what that dialogue looked like. We just kind of started talking.
I feel like the more we talk about Halo's story, the more I'm like, Halo's story's kind of dumb. I'm gonna be honest, guys.
It's gotten rough. 5 took us there, man.
Yeah.
It's all Halo 5's fault.
Fix it, right the ship, or we're just gonna keep declining.
That's the guy from Halo Infinite. Like, he did all, like, the multiplayer stuff.
That's a choice that's available to us.
That's both a really scary thing.
Stepping outside of that gives me an enormous amount of hope if we're willing
He's been there for a while, then.
to, so far we have been, match that with the actions that it does take to make that investment real and tangible.
And a really cool thing because it gives us a chance to do some awesome stuff. So we can leverage the strengths that we do have, which are recognition, our status as an icon, the fact that, like, if we put Halo on something and it's a high quality product, people are gonna be interested in checking it out.
Hold on, what is this? Project Olympus. That was the code name for Infinite before it had its official name. And we talk about Project Eker. That's in the same similar vein of like Greek mythology. So that's very interesting.
There is no better way to clean the slate than a reboot.
By rebooting, taking things back, kind of simplifying the core elements, it
Reboot
lets
of
us
Halo?
return to really the fundamental things that made Halo special.
That's what Legacy Halo is to me. It's the gameplay that introduced something that no other game within the industry had.
And I think what really has changed for me is value of that legacy.
I started to realize that Halo was bigger.
It's funny that they're using footage from the original games, not the MCC, because MCC was still out at this point. What was that? Go back.
Changed for me is value of that legacy.
I started to realize that Halo was
classic tight corridor HCS compatible maps. Focus on more causal. Hey, you got a spelling error in your. Come on, guys.
bigger than any of its members.
When we start to try to distance ourselves from the things that made us unique to begin with, that's when the fun factor starts to be diminished.
We don't want to just cruise along. We don't want to just flatline as
What
the
is that?
franchise.
People don't expect as much out of Halo, which I think is pretty empowering because it gives a team a chance to come out of nowhere with something brand new that people didn't expect.
So all of this effort we're doing around the tool set is crucial to the longevity of the studio.
It's really solidifying our ability to be a full service. You don't just make content and walk away from it, which means we need better workflows to allow us to iterate and create that content faster and easier.
Instead of just making an incremental leap, really make a giant leap and raise the bar and hopefully reinvigorate the franchise.
Want to hit that kind of reset button.
Open world? Is that what the original open world is going to be with the space rhinos, guys? The space rhinos.
In terms of what the expectations are immediately.
Whoa.
I want us to figure out how we can capture people's imaginations.
We want it to feel like it's this continuous story that kind of grows and evolves over time.
Here's an experience that is Halo to its core.
For old players, it has a sense of nostalgia and awe in its history. And then for new players, there's this big mystery about what is it.
You're like, I get to explore this world and I get to experience its mysteries. I'm telling you what I want out of the game, but I'm telling you that because I know that's exactly what the team is trying to build.
There's nothing scientific about that. Like, there's not a formula for that. But when you get it, when you play it, you know it. That's the game that I want to make, and that's the game that I think we're making.
I'm guessing that's like early Halo Infinite campaign stuff. It's just made as like a sizzle reel. I don't think it's actual in-game footage, but there's a lot of concept art here that I've seen for years, and that's being worked into this too. So this is very interesting.
A cop pulled me over in Kirkland and said, "Where are you going with 6 TVs in the dead of night?" And I said, "We're playing Halo."
Halo was the first game that had LAN parties, was it not?
That was my first experience with LAN and people just hanging out and having fun.
Elizabeth Van Wyck, esports lead. She's now one of the studio heads, and it's really cool they're showing the old school Halo stuff.
Together, literally in a basement.
The hardest I've ever laughed ever was in a multi-flag game on Snowbound.
I was playing Capture the Flag, and I really had no concept of what this was other than grab the flag and run.
2 scores to 2 scores with 3 to win, and he was bringing the flag back.
I was running, and I see the flag in front of me, and I just remember hearing over comms my friend saying, "Somebody grab the flag," and I was just about to do it, and they said, "Except for Lanny." And I was just like, what? Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
And he's going to the Snowbound base, people are chasing him, he's right about to cap it, and then I melee him in the back, take it, and then drop the cap to score. And I laughed so hard. It's so cruel, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever done in a video game.
Just feeling that adrenaline and my heart pumping.
But I'll just remember that story forever. I have the same film.
That was one of the things that got me hooked on Halo and playing multiplayer with friends, was just that excitement and the trash talking and the laughing.
It was that defining from those years of my life where all I thought about was, when is the next time I'm getting together with a bunch of people and kicking someone's ass in Halo.
You may want to cut this one, but we would literally do victory laps around players. So we would have someone singing in the front.
The just kind of goofy romping that we'd have, beating each other up and yelling at each other. That's the stuff that sticks with me in the long run.
I'm not going to forget that forever, and I'm sure that the team that we faced will never forget that either.
Like those handful of really exceptional games.
Very quickly, I mean, we all have those Halo memories, and I think that makes Halo Halo for us. It's really cool they're touching on this.
Where you would start playing at 7:30, 8 o'clock, no concept of time, 0, and would be shocked and upset, but somehow a little bit proud when you go to leave and the sun was already up. And there's so many emotions that, like, I can't, but you had so much fun. It was fun.
So many people talk about
not
the fact that it was 60 FPS or the fact that the ring was this big open space, but they talk about the memories they have playing with people.
Halo is a universal franchise. It should be for more people.
There's players out there that want to play Halo. They want to get into it, but there's that barrier, and so we're attacking those barriers.
Players discover games through watching their favorite streamers. How do we make our
That's
game
Ninja.
more watchable and more visually interesting?
How does our game differentiate, and how do we make something that feels new and fresh but feels like Halo to its core?
In that offsite, we decided that we need to be disruptive.
Hold on. Hold on. Do you guys remember when Mr. Reb shared that information from that slide? Hold on.
In that offsite, we
Wait.
decided that we need
That's it. That's
to be disruptive in pursuit of making.
Unreal investigation. 2 days to present findings. Extended leadership something. Coalition trip. Engine decision. Ooh, this is gonna get good here.
Making the best Halo game ever. And we can't continue to operate in the fashion that we have.
When we're thinking about a service, you don't just make content and walk away from it. No, you have to be consistently shipping great, high quality content, which means.
Was that Guardian? Okay, I swear to God, that was Guardian.
Content and walk away from it. No, you have to be consistently shipping.
That's Guardian, but it's like Halo 5 Guardian, but it's like a hybrid of like Halo 5 and Infinite together.
Great, high quality content, which means we.
What map's that? Is that might be Skirmish at Darkstar? It's just a random guess. Warzone Halo 5 map.
Need better workflows to allow us to iterate and create that content faster and easier.
We talked about a number of things that we wanted to investigate fixing in our tool chain, and then we put all those on pause so that we could go investigate Unreal to see if that would be a better path forward for the studio.
We've always put.
So during Halo Infinite's development, they were looking at basically swapping to Unreal, and they were talking about workflows. So this is very relevant to how things are at the moment.
Trying to make a great game ahead of enabling ourselves to make a great game.
To even attempt to do some of the stuff we're talking about doing, our tools had to get upgraded.
I decided that the most important thing that we could do was investigate, could we make a better game in Unreal?
Well, let's take a look at it instead of spending man years of time building the tool set.
Okay, very, very quickly. They went through those very, like, there we go. Non-sandbox systems need significant work. While sandbox is not blocked by current systems, improvements would speed up workflows of specific disciplines, mainly art. Prototyping requires devs not robust enough. That's interesting. What was the other one? Is that like in... That must be... Is that Unreal? But Open World Infinite? And then the next one was another one. The ability to alter gameplay, animation flow, and playback by devs, designers, or animators through blueprints, events, graphs, animation, graphs, and state machines. Convention. Wow, okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to full speed.
Well, let's take a look at it. Instead of spending man years of time building the tool set, maybe we can buy the tool set and then spend the time trying to recreate our game experience in that engine.
Because Unreal's pipeline and what artists can do in Unreal is extremely powerful.
At the end of the leadership offsite, we asked for a vote of where people stood on the engine.
And what we found through the investigation was that the Halo engine actually is a much more powerful engine at runtime.
The result of that vote was about 85%, roughly, to stay in our engine.
It would have been like another...
Okay, so the Halo engine was stronger for runtime, but there were benefits to doing Unreal, and Mr. Rebs was right that 85% of people, when they voted, decided to stick with the Halo engine. In hindsight, now that we've seen everything that happened with Infinite, it was the wrong choice. If they went to Unreal, so many problems could have been avoided. But now they've gone to Unreal, so it's going to be very interesting to see how things go.
2 man years of work to replicate our in-game systems that kind of make Halo Halo, and then we would be able to play the game we have today in the Play Lab.
They actually highlighted that. The problem isn't recreating the feel of Halo, which is a question so many of us have asked. It's the scope. Oh, that makes that one, I have to go through all of this with a fine-tooth comb and really like jot it all down. But second, wow, that is... We'll keep...
Gave a lot more context to what was out there, what our competitors were doing.
We want to go after making this engine a modern, competitive engine with Unreal or other first-party engines that other companies make.
If we think about the engine as a product, it starts to make you think about how the engine fits together in a way that makes it easier to be a service, makes it easier for us to have people focus on workflow.
And that's where the true fun is found. You have a creative, cool idea,
What
but then you
the-
need to be able to quickly iterate on it many times.
It's like the Overwatch style, like everyone has a role shooter. Like we saw leaks of that. Like we saw the sizzle reel of people on their art stations.
Try it out in game as quickly as possible and have those tools to innovate and find the fun.
But the reality is that we need to be critically thinking about where we are in order to make a large leap forward.
Arena was critical to start with.
Rather happy to share that even before the free play period, Halo 5 has had the highest monthly active players for a Halo title since Halo 3. Since 3. That was like one of their biggest. That was, yeah.
It was the biggest, right?
Well, yeah.
Halo 5 actually had really, really good player retention. In between the monthly content drops on the first year of the game, and then with Warzone and Arena, that like unison, the player count was actually really good. Even though you couldn't see it, it was really solid all throughout its life cycle.
Until now.
Our number one priority was making that multiplayer competitive because we wanted to bring back the HCS, and I think we nailed that.
Amazing when you watch it on a hyper-competitive level, but as a new player, it's overwhelming.
We're in a fine line between innovation and classical legacy.
We still need to evolve, we still need to grow and expand, but we need that legacy as a foundation rather.
That's why Halo Infinite to many people feels like a step back from Halo 5, at least in terms of gameplay. It's because I think they felt like it was a bit overwhelming. It was too much for a beginner player to come and like pick up. At least that's what it seems like they're saying. But I like Infinite gameplay and I like Halo 5, so I mean...
Rather than throwing it out, build upon it.
There's a tons of things that we've done that sometimes were great, but that added a lot of cluttering and noise. We want to make sure that all these visuals will be clearer, more readable for the players, and instantly recognizable as something that will be more connected to classic Halo.
Once multiplayer launches, the whole campaign begins, right? From our perspective and marketing's. And so here, I think we would likely start even talking about Road to the Ring. We're going to start seeding in the context for what's going on right away. And it'll be in a light way instilled in everything you're doing. And so the front end is a good example of that because it's the first thing any player will see. Pocket levels are a thing that we will have and do have, and those will change every quarter in some way. We have this concept of these pockets.
All of these concept art pieces, now we see all the context behind them. So it seems like they really wanted to build on the Academy story, the multiplayer story, that unfortunately, it's being completed now, but in such like, if the Forgers did it. But it's really cool. They had so many plans for this, and honestly, the idea isn't too bad at this point.
Levels, and that is fully immersing the
Whoa,
UI into the context.
For us, in a lot of ways,
It's like a Halo 5 Infinite hybrid. I know it's using Halo 5 assets while they're developing Infinite, but still.
We're starting with your multiplayer Spartan and having a little bit of a story that kind of starts there, I think will help start to bridge that gap a little bit. Like, oh, this even has a narrative context well before the campaign even shows up.
And so I come in as like, oh, okay, I'm already in the Bay of the Infinity.
That's why Halo Infinite's multiplayer launched early. That's the general concept of it. They wanted to, you have your Spartan, it's leading to the ring, and then Halo Infinite's campaign will launch a month later. It's like the battle to the ring. Interesting. That makes so much sense now.
And I see a bunch of recruits. The thing that I personally like about this recruitment aligning with the players and the product and what's happening in the universe is it's speaking to you as a player.
You need to connect people to what the core values of that franchise are. Showing people that you can be a hero, that you should have duty, that you should be able to do the hard thing, that matters. Like, more now probably than ever.
And he's got his recruitment armor on, right? And he's in the foreground of the pocket level, and he's looking off, and there's a bunch of people in line.
That's probably what happened to Spartan Agrinia, you know, the commander. That's probably the early concept of her.
And they're all kind of joining up.
When we talk about onboarding, we talk about Spartan Academies. We know that if you go into multiplayer, you don't kill anyone, you die a lot, you don't come back.
If you've never played Halo before, even if you've never played a shooter before, we want to provide safe spaces for you to learn the controls and learn our maps and learn our modes and play against bot opponents. If you're
So that's where Academy came from, and Academy's really great. It's one of the best things Infinite did to get new players accustomed to the weapons, the movement. I really hope whatever game comes out next has Academy, because it really helps, and I think it's done nothing but help new players.
You're too intimidated by human opponents.
Like ramping people up in a way that you feel like you are getting.
Olympus Slayer. So this is like a Halo 5 Infinite as they're working on the game, and maybe it's bots as well. That's and obviously the maps are in a blockout phase. I wish I knew what map that was though.
Getting better, and there's a huge amount of depth to it.
But you're also going to have these quarterly beats where we have new content, new modes, and new experiences coming out, and the UI will.
These are the images. This is what Mr. Reb shared. This was the initial plan for Infinite. All right, let me go back 5 seconds. Join the UNSC. Greetings, Spartan Tefo. Welcome to UNSC Academy. That was like the first thing. What's the next frame? What is... All right,
beats where we have new content, new mode.
The ring awaits. Begin a new adventure with Master Chief and explore a world unlike any you have experienced. Use Master Chief armor in Arena. So the max rank reward, and we kind of already knew that, the max rank reward was always planned to be usable in Arena. And then you got Scarlet and Rex, so obviously Halo 5 in some way was... Halo 5 Warzone was planned in some way.
New experiences coming out, and the UI will kind of expand over time and grow.
Okay, there's 2 screens on screen, but very quickly. Atriox's reign. You're the only thing standing in the way of Atriox's master plan to dominate the galaxy. Stop him from using the ring and save humanity once more. Crush Atriox's warlords one by one to reach the seat of his power, the Bastion. I wonder if that's all the mini-bosses where you can get the weapons in the campaign. I wonder if they were the warlords and they got turned into the high-value targets. The new warlord system comes to the open world. So it's like the VIPs, the high-value targets, were actually planned to be like the first of the campaign DLC as the game evolved. As well as Firefight right off the bat. That would have been great. People would have counted that as, maybe because the open world was so barren, they're like, well, we need to put the high-value targets in right away. But it might have been planned to be DLC.
And over time and grow to reflect.
Fall 2021, Atriox's Reign campaign. Does that mean it's like... They have the friends list we wanted. Why don't we have that? That's literally all we wanted. We just wanted numbers on the side. And you got your friends, and you got... Wow, they got Mixer. They got the Mixer logo. Rex for Halo 5 Warzone. I guess Infinite Warzone. Academy, Arena, BTB, and BTB New Game Mode. It's funny because, honestly, I prefer that UI to what we got when the game came out. Oh, man. And... Atriox's Reign, that actually seems super cool. And if you could play it with your friends online, with like 6 to 8 players, or I know it's just your friends, but they even have Spartan companies. Because Spartan companies was a huge part of Halo 5. And a lot of people, like, it brings people together, people made friends. Why is it gone? At least in this early concept, it was still there.
The new activities that you can do in the game.
I think the possibility that this gives us to innovate is really exciting.
Sockets are about giving players the choice to play the way they want to play.
It's a foundation that allows us to...
Socket system, high agility, silent movement, melee boost, gravity suit, cloaked armor, medical support. So this must have been the, I guess, we said it was like an Overwatch style shooter where each class has its own abilities. This must be what they were talking about with it.
Modularized gameplay function.
The socket system is a structure that allows us to add and remove functionality from a frame, armor, weapons, and vehicles. Night vision, jump jet, super shield. That almost seems like Star Wars Battlefront, but just like an arena style.
And these components can be added or removed from the different sandbox items.
Core ability, active camo, specialty, hacker. As a spin-off game, I think this would be fine. But I'm kind of glad they didn't go in this route. Let's keep watching.
And that's like your armor, weapons, vehicles.
Oh, and even like the weapons and the vehicles all had their own... Okay, they had their own abilities and extra perks, I guess.
What that gives us is great potential to innovate with...
Ho, 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 the phone. So it's like a cloaking class. Look at that. Look at the character on the screen. And you get active camo.
New types of gameplay. If
A
all you have
warthog? A warthog that launches you?
is a weapon, and you're better at using a weapon than I am, well, you're always going to be better than me. But if I have the potential to play a support role, that allows me to be a valuable contributing member just by adding new abilities or new features through the sockets.
Really about you becoming a Spartan. So how do we make you feel personalized and that you...
How much development time went into this? Like, truly, this seems very thought out. Like, this seems like the initial concept for Infinite. If they had to scrap all of this and then make what we eventually got, that's a lot of work in a very small time frame with the pandemic. I think they're lucky to get out the game they did, to get the reception they did, because people liked Infinite on release, but then there was no content to follow up. If this was planned for such a long time and then they had to go back to the drawing board.
You're having these amazing moments happen to you.
We're going to give the player more control over the cosmetic appearance of their...
I wouldn't have even minded this, honestly. Like, I wouldn't have loved it. So I think like a spin-off would have some merit. So if there was a way to still use the stuff they obviously spent a long time developing, that wouldn't be so bad. At least as like a supplementary, like not primary, but, you know, additional. Like you have the full multiplayer suite and then you build on it and then you have this. You might have a couple of Halo fans who really enjoy it. They might like the tactical nature of it. I've always said Halo is so diverse that you could do this, and in a Halo universe setting, it would do really, really well. But, I mean, they're talking about customization.
Than we've ever had in any Halo game.
Leaving Red versus Blue in the past and letting players have their...
So the decision to move from Red versus Blue was made very early on.
Normal colors in-game.
We draw outlines. A blue outline means that's an ally, and then a red outline means that's an enemy. And it's really easy to pick that up, and you kind of don't even need to explain it to people.
As you play, you'll be able to see wear and tear on your suit.
Did the wear and tear make it into the final game, or did that... I think that was in one of the flight tests, but then it didn't make it into the full release. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but also it seems like the outline system and the red versus blue, that was decided very early on.
If you want to show people your battle scars that you've earned, you can.
It's like you're part of this living experience.
The road to the ring is this building.
That's the concept art you guys just saw of the Spartans that eventually made it into the story we saw.
Scars that you've earned, you can.
It's like you're part of this living experience.
The road.
Eklund and Din, there they are. With the other two, I don't know what they are. I guess the other classes?
To the ring is this building up of armaments, right? And building up of your army.
It's your progression, it's your customization.
Wait, did that like you unlock armor based on your rank? Cadet, private, corporal, sergeant. Ah, so you got nothing, and then you get things on your feet, and a wrist guard, and your backpack. I think backpacks would be good, honestly. We had backpacks in the Master Chief collection, but actual ones? I always thought like a Halo style like Battlefield or Battlefront game would do really, really well. With set classes, actually. So it's not always a bad idea. I guess it's the execution of it. And if you have what makes Halo Halo first, and then you add to it and build on it, and you can experiment a little bit, then it's okay. Let's keep watching.
Customization and cosmetics. The story is you.
You guys asked for a color slider. Literally in that. There's your color slider, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So they do have like an in-depth system that lets you, they can just pick and choose colors and make codings. So I hope whichever Halo game comes next, you have a color wheel again, but I don't want them to do marketing colors like they did with Infinite. Please don't do that again.
Cosmetics, the story is you in the multiplayer.
The 2019 release will signal to fans of the franchise that
the 2019 release. So that would have been 4 years after Halo 5. 2019 release, guys. Wow, that's...
old modes of distribution are no longer necessary.
Our build-up and crescendo is the battle for the ring.
I don't have to...
So it seems like your Spartan story was going to end up as like and that's why Infinite came out early, 1 month earlier than the campaign, and it's supposed to lead to the ring story. Wait, let me...
necessary.
Our build-up and crescendo is the battle for the ring.
Battle for the ring.
I don't...
Look at that. Like, see, so Atriox was going to be front and center. Is that looks too small to be the Infinity. I'm not sure if what that is. Is that a banished? You guys can tell me what UNSC ship that is. You guys let me know, because I don't know all of them.
Have to wait 3 years between experiences.
We don't have to wait 3 years in between experiences. So they wanted to keep getting content out, but then the engine limitations stopped them from actually doing their plans. So all from that one decision to stay with Slipspace, the Halo engine, and not move to Unreal, made like a domino effect that the game was dead on, like not dead on arrival, but it was so muted. It was not
arbitrarily anymore.
That's where the UNSC is going. That's where they need to go to save humanity.
And further, the team who is...
You got ODSTs, you got shields. They had a lot of plans with this. I really need to do a deep dive on this, but wow.
Bringing me this is learning how to make it better with every week that goes by.
And then campaign comes out and you're on the ring.
As if that wasn't enough. So that was like the whole multiplayer. Now we're going to campaign. I'm very interested to see what happens with the campaign, guys. I really am. Especially if we get to see what the initial plan was and we can compare it to what we got with the official game.
We're starting to see some great games come back to the map. And this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. It's the first time they've debuted it. Halo is the name of this game, and we're going to see, for the first time, Halo.
When the game was revealed, and it was revealed to be this kind of open world looking, super ambitious at the time shooter, I remember watching that video and thinking, oh man, I'm going to get to explore that world.
I used to be like a Mac fan, and I remember seeing the videos and also reading an article coming from the people who had done a game that I really liked. So they had done Myth: The Fallen Lords, and I was like, oh my god, another game, and it's a shooter, and it's coming to Macintosh. So I was excited. I remember that.
Microsoft is buying Bungie software products to add games for its personal computers and Xbox and video game console. Bungie's computer-added video games include a sci-fi action epic dubbed Halo.
Came exclusive, and the rest is history.
I am going to be playing Halo in the flesh on the Xbox.
Joe Staten.
On behalf of the whole Halo team, this is Halo. And this is you. An elite military unit, you are the last of your kind.
I vividly remember Chief crashing on the ring, looking up and seeing this crazy thing in the sky.
I love Halo, man. I'm just going to say that. I'll shut up for while they talk about this, but I love Halo.
And the beautiful environments and the open spaces, and just being completely blown away by it.
Recognizing this is a place that I'm going to be able to explore, this is a place that I'm going to be able to move around and go to locations that maybe are off the beaten path, but have still been realized in the artist's mind.
Marooned on this Halo. They have to piece the story together of what happened. They have to piece together the plan of how do we move forward from here.
So they wanted a full world. I mean, like with the wildlife and the exploration. I think wildlife is such an important part of Halo, especially on a ring. Wow. I guess when you're making a game for the original Xbox One and you're doing an open world Halo game, that would cause you to cut many things, would it not?
And they have to piece together what's left of humanity.
Wow. Wait. That? You know the first reveal with Master Chief holding his helmet before he gets in the water and he drives? Is that an early version of it? His helmet looks slightly different. The colorization, slightly different. Project Olympus, the ring. You know, people are really hard on 343, rightfully so, but a lot of these concepts, a lot of these ideas, they're not even half bad. I guess the execution is the hardest thing, but the ideas are there, and respecting legacy is something I talk about so much on the channel. Let's keep going.
The big focus of this presentation and the update is about how we got to this clean slate state for the story. That doesn't mean we're throwing out canon. Everything we've done here still fits, but we said to ourselves ultimately in that spiritual reboot kind of way, why not put the game state in the place where we want it to be in our hearts right away?
There's a cost of entry when you have a story that's running across many games. We want to be able to allow people to come in and not feel intimidated by our franchise.
This silly drawing that I put up that is actually a spine and a rib cage coming
They make an important point there, because a lot of people, especially you guys watching this video, we've played Halo for 20 plus years, heading on to 25. We know the full story, but one of the biggest challenges Halo has is getting in the next generation of players. And if they don't understand what's happening with the story, they're not going to resonate with it like we would. So it's an important point for them to talk about. It really is.
Off of the spine. With our open structure, we can tell a very simple story in the core main
Space Rhinos
thread that is very easy to understand. What I mean by
that must be the early open world, by the way, guys.
Easier to understand specifically is this main story thread is what we want to be as simple and straightforward as possible, but we have these subplots.
I remember Mr. Rebs talking about how there was going to be a home base, and I guess that's an early concept of it too. But to think what Infinite's campaign could have been, I hope a lot of those ideas and I guess the things that they were planning, I wouldn't hate if they were integrated or incorporated in the future in some way.
And these submissions directly connected to the main story, but it has its whole deep backstory in and of itself. They're still very first-class citizens. They have all the elements of a critical path.
Waystation, Lima 9, survivors. So there is like little outpost everywhere, which might have got turned into the FOBs, the forward operating bases. Return to Lima camp. And you got a horse? There's a horse on screen, there's an assault rifle, and a vehicle. Does that mean you could spawn in, like, some of the wildlife and ride them? That would have been so cool. Oh, imagine Chief with an energy sword jousting. That would be amazing.
Mission, but they're opt-in.
We want people to fill in their own blanks.
Giving Cortana her own deep narrative in one of these ribs that is opt-in allows the player to feel ownership over that.
So what they were going to do was they're going to have branches, and from those branches would tell a story. Stories that would resonate with the veteran fans, one of those being a deep dive into Cortana's story. So that's a way that they can tell a campaign, but then with these branches, they can incorporate, I guess that's where, like, you're going through the Infinite campaign and it has those like holograms between Halsey, Chief, Cortana, everything. It's interesting. I get the idea, because you want new fans to play and you want them to enjoy it, but you got to respect legacy too. So they're trying to think of a way to do that.
Journey, and it brings you down all of the twists and turns and eventually ends in her redemption and her sacrifice.
That was cool as fuck. That looks so cool.
And how you got to that point. Now, obviously, the player won't know this stuff explicitly right off the bat when they start.
That's like early Infinite, I guess, just campaign during development.
We want them to actually start with questions, and then throughout playing the game, they answer those questions. Titans have met. Cortana had a failsafe built in that allowed her to do 3 very important things if she were to ever lose the ring and lose it to somebody who is going to use it for ill. First, the ring is moved into deep space. Second, an encoded message is sent to the UNSC. And the third thing that happens is Cortana sacrifices herself while she's on the ring and destroys a critical piece of it to prevent it from being fired. And that's why you see in the skybox this pretty meaningful scar. Ultimately, one of our goals here is to get Chief and Cortana reunited.
Taking the story back to the nucleus, which is Chief and Cortana, bringing them back together.
The game opens on this squad of Marines. They are
very quickly. Them just talking about that for 1 minute explains so much and so many questions I had about Infinite's story. Let's keep going.
Going to some coordinates, and they're going to get the package. And they come around a corner, and at the end of the hallway, they see this device. Once they get close enough, Sentinels erupt from the rooms, ripping the Marines to shreds and cutting them down. But they did already activate that device, and as you can see, Chief is within the device in some sort of stasis or cryo. But during that sequence, we cut from the cinematic to first person, and the thing opens up, and you're him all over again. You come out, see the carnage, you scan them, and you find out they're from some UNSC camp. It says you need to go north, and you leave the installation, and you're on the ring. The UNSC is on the down and out. They've lost the battle for the ring. They are on the ropes, and they need someone to come in and lead them, and that's the player. That's Chief. For many, many months, the UNSC didn't know where he was, and so he comes in from the cold, in from the wilderness, joins up with the UNSC, and he's also introduced to a new Cortana AI in the process. He, at the time, doesn't know what's going on exactly, and the player doesn't either.
Resetting her so that she starts at the same level playing field that the player is and Chief is, and you get to experience that together. She'll have her own insight, but she won't have the literal knowledge to tell you what actually is happening.
Her arc will be this clean slate, fresh perspective that is being built up over time.
I don't hate that idea, honestly. I don't hate it, especially with Chief waking up in an installation. I just wonder how he got there. So apparently he was in cryo in an installation. The Marines, by touch, just touching, I guess, the cryo place where Chief was. Interesting concept. I wonder how Chief got there. But I don't hate the story. It just seems like everything we got with Infinite's campaign was only a slice of what 343 really wanted to do. They were very, very ambitious. And honestly, if they could have released everything that they've planned here, I think it would have been phenomenal. I think it would have been one of the best Halo campaigns. And I don't hate Infinite's campaign by any stretch of the imagination, but that would have been wow. That would have been phenomenal. So I hope a lot of these things, even if not the story beats, but some of the ideas they've had, if they're doing a linear campaign and they're respecting legacy, just keep building on it. I guess that's my main hope for the Unreal games. If they're redoing Combat Evolved, just respect what came before and just really try build and be additive in what you guys put out.
Some of the best levels: Silent Cartographer, Assault in the Control Room, 2 Betrayals. You could list almost every level in the first game. There was a pervasive reality of exploration.
But now we're just taking that and giving you 10 times more choice.
So the rings.
Flip Space Engine, open world. I wish they could have realized that I don't have words. I truly don't.
Specifically, and I look at the ring as a character, will separate us from other games.
There's this wonder of it with the, oh, it's a world and a weapon.
He sounds like Joe Staten. It's not Joe Staten, but it sounds like him.
This living, breathing entity that even has a battle scar.
It appeals to something deep inside you that desires to go to a place like this and longs to see and experience and interact in a place that is completely otherworldly, yet very grounded in reality.
We really want to have people stay and give them an experience that makes them want to stay. And I think just doing something like Halo 5 again would not achieve that.
People want a game that's super sticky, that they want to come back to. They also want their friends to want to come back to it as well.
We need to be...
That's bravo. But also, that's really interesting. Like, all the stuff I saw from the campaign, the initial concept art, everything, all the ideas, couple, like, story beats that aren't 100% that I don't love, but the general gist of it, like, I really, really like. It's a shame in a way that we didn't get to see it. Damn.
Defined as an experience that is able to bring together players of all skill levels.
We'll be successful if we can keep our focus for the amount of years that we need to keep focus.
We will be successful with Olympus if we listen to our fans, try bold new things, iterate, and then continually improve along the way.
If you want to reinvigorate the franchise, compete with the changing landscape, you have to disrupt.
I think it is a challenge, but those kinds of challenges are what bring...
They like the banished bases, I'm guessing.
Out the best in a studio.
I think the best thing I like about Halo is those crazy moments that happen during campaign or during multiplayer matches. So those are great moments that make...
Trick shots. My trick shots. I remember when they said they left a lot of the bugs in that were basically Mint Blitz style moments. I'll never forget that. And to many people, like, that's the core of, like, what made Halo fun. The physics. The interactions between the player and the AI and the other players and the vehicles and everything. I'm glad that that's something that's very important to them.
Players feel powerful and awesome.
We're just playing with this game because it feels good to play.
There are things that we do really well in terms of gameplay and will always stand out. They will stay unmatched for a very long time.
It should be therapeutic. If you create a game that is not therapeutic for people, you're not going to be successful.
You don't want to be overly sweaty. You don't want to be pounded on by a 12-year-old yelling about chocolate milk.
It's like, I want to maintain the performance we had before.
How can we be something that's different and potentially that next meaningful thing in video gaming?
I want to make it look freaking amazing.
Holy
it's a
shit!
very long-term bet instead of a short-term bet, and I think that...
First of all, that was the Crusher. That was the Crusher, the plant boss that eventually got swapped out for the Hunter. And that's a fucking snow biome.
It's one of the best things that we've done here.
And I want to spend time helping the art team generate content much easier.
I think we're...
Man, if we got extra biomes on Infinite's campaign, we're only getting a short snippet here of what was planned for this game. I'm sure there's even more stuff that we didn't get to see. But wow, honestly, like, there's a lot of good here, guys.
On the road to success, for sure.
It's multiplayer, it's campaign, it's story, it's everything. I want to bring the joy back to Halo.
I want to put the hungry back in Halo.
I want to make a game that feels like a phenomenon.
Wow. I'm going to take a day to digest all of that, but there was so many campaign concepts, multiplayer concepts, different enemies. I can see how Infinite evolved from this, and there's a lot of good stuff that they initially concepted that did make it into Infinite, and I'm glad it did because it made the game better on the whole, Academy being a massive part of that. It's a shame that, I guess, the pandemic and the engine issues, a lot of different things happened, which prevented us from getting the game that was planned, I guess. It's very interesting. It's very eye-opening. I'm glad this got posted on YouTube. It gives us better insight, I guess, to what was planned and what ended up happening, and we can compare this to the Infinite we got, and now Infinite today is fantastic. And I guess it always shows, I always say this, but it always shows that the day-to-day developers are so passionate about Halo. And that could not be more evident from what we watched. I've always said that, and it's very easy to just, like, say that the whole studio sucks. It's just not true. Like, those guys, like, a lot of them were, like, long-term community members who ended up working at the studio. They're as passionate as you can hope for a Halo developer. So, wow. I'll link the full video in the description so you guys can go watch it for yourselves if you want to go through it. I'll do a deep dive on this whole thing. I'll go through it. I'll get all the key notes. I'll put it into like a 10-minute video. Expect that out tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Wow is honestly all I can say. I'm a bit lost for words, but October 25th, new Halo game is being revealed on the Unreal Engine at the World Championships. Make sure you tune into that. This was, wow. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching. Peace.